Assalamu alaikum. Greetings from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Today marks an important turning point for Ogilvy and Mather and for Memak Ogilvy, our partners in the Middle East and North Africa. Today launches Ogilvy Noor, our new Islamic branding practice, as well as a seminal piece of thought leadership, a study entitled Brands, Islam, and the New Muslim Consumer. On my left, I'd like to introduce Nazia Hussain, John Goodman, and Tanya Dernaika. John, can you tell us, what is Ogilvy Noor?
Ogilvy Noor is our specialist Islamic branding consultancy, covering pretty much the entire world, but particularly the markets which are heavily Muslim in Asia, in the Middle East, in North Africa and Europe, intending to help clients who wish to speak to the Muslim market around the world.
Why have we done this? Why is it important for something like Ogilvy Noor to exist in the first place?
It's a very good question. Why are we here? I think when we started the project, even we ourselves didn't realize quite how big the scope of it would end up being. It is a huge void in the marketplace that we've now filled, and we've learned about it as we've gone on. So what started out as a piece of thought leadership has now become the world's first full-fledged Islamic branding practice offered by an advertising and communications agency, and it's incredibly valuable because it was needed. Up until today, the things that have been published on the Muslim consumer have been good, but they've been initial forays into the field as opposed to any kind of really rigorous thinking or research into the needs of the Muslim consumer, why it's important to see the Muslim consumer as an entity, which we believe it is, and why marketers need to look at their needs in a different way and really empathize with the new young generation of Muslim consumers that we focus on in our report. So those are all the reasons why it's an important time to be launching this.
John, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about who is Ogilvy Noor?
The core team is the 4 people sitting around this table right now. We've received a great deal of support from officers for whom this is very interesting. Officers in Dubai, in Kuala Lumpur, in Karachi, in London, and in fact the whole of the Ogilvy network.
Tanya, why is this of interest to clients, do you think? Why will this help clients?
Well, as Nazia said, when we embarked upon this project, we didn't know what we would learn. And we were hoping to get a few groundbreaking insights. We got so much, we learned so much. And these new insights that we gathered, combined with our expertise as brand builders, really combined together has provided a practical toolkit for clients that they can read, be inspired by, use, and apply to their brand so that they can appeal to the Muslim consumer. And what we've tried to do as much as possible is not just provide guidelines as to what you shouldn't do, which is, people are usually paralyzed by fear when you mention the word Islam and communication. But in fact, yes, what you shouldn't do, how not to offend, but more importantly, what you should do, how to inspire them, how to connect, how to engage. Our list of do's are always longer than our list of don'ts. So I think that's what they will find interesting.
Nazia, can you tell us a little bit more about the study?
The study is actually based on a piece of global research that was carried out by our global research partners, TNS, across 4 key Muslim markets that we chose for various reasons. Mainly they're spread across a spectrum of consumer sophistication when it comes to Islamic branding. So we chose Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Malaysia. The study is extremely thorough. It goes into a huge amount of detail on topics that nobody has even attempted to explore really in the past. So it's very, very exciting because it's sort of new thinking, it's real thought leadership. The focus of the study, as is hinted at by our title, is the new consumer. So we have a theory that the young, new Muslim consumer is the consumer segment that is really going to shape the future for marketeers looking to appeal to Muslim markets. And I mean, we have to remember that 3 in 5 Muslims are under the age of 30 today. 11% of the world is a young Muslim, and that's a huge segment, and we are trying really hard in the book to capture what it is that they believe, what they think, what they need, what they fear, all the things that will help to really empathize, for a brand to really empathize with them in their lives. So that's kind of the focus of the book. Tanya and I worked together on writing it, and it was an illuminating experience, shall I say. We learned a lot along the way. We have created, for the first time, the Noor brand index, as well as the Noor category index. Perhaps Tanya would like to explain what they are.
We were very focused on the outcome, what we wanted to get out of it, the questions that we have as planners, the questions that our clients have. These are all questions that you cannot find today. Even if you go on the internet and you do as much desk research as you want, you can read any publications. No one's asked these questions the way we asked them and gotten the kind of insights that we have. And what we try to do is really understand people's relationship with the categories and what categories are important in terms of how Sharia compliant they should be, what categories aren't. We looked at brands. What brands are considered to be Sharia friendly? What brands aren't? And the answers were surprising, revealing, insightful.
And is this relevant to small, medium-sized clients in the Muslim markets, or is it relevant to large global multinational clients?
What we try to do is tailor it to anyone interested in the Muslim consumer, an enterprise of 2 people or an enterprise of 2,000 people. Global clients, the big Coca-Colas of this world, and the small Islamic institutions that are present locally. Anyone interested in appealing to the Muslim consumer will get something out of this report that is useful.
www.ogilvynoor.com.
Before you finish,
yes,
there's one question which you haven't asked, but somebody asked me this at a press conference this morning, and I think it's important to address it. Mm-hmm. The question was, by developing this practice and by treating the Muslim market as separate, are we not in danger of increasing the divide which people see so much in the modern world between Muslims and non-Muslims? Okay? And I think it's an important question to answer. Our view is very strongly that it's intending to do exactly the opposite. That many of the problems between Muslims and non-Muslims are caused from ignorance, from a lack of knowledge about each other and a lack of knowledge inside the communities about themselves. And therefore we feel that anything that helps break that down, anything that helps share information, share knowledge, share education, is going to be helpful not only in building business for our clients, but actually also building a better world. It may sound very idealistic, but I think it's one of the things that motivates us to do it.
Very interesting. So Islamic branding can be a force for good?
We certainly hope so.
Absolutely.
Once again, www.ogilvynoor.com. Thank you very much to Miles Young. This was Miles Young's brainchild, and several years ago he started this initiative, and we've been quietly working away and are delighted to finally bring it to fruition today. So we'd like to thank Miles for his perseverance and for his financial commitment, for the background research, and of course everything else that had to be put in place in order to turn this into a tangible piece of work and a real practice to take to the market. So thank you for tuning in. And
before you do, there is one other vote of thanks I'd like to give, and that's to the MEMAC Ogilvy network, our partner network in the Middle East and North Africa, led by Eddie Moutran, who again have invested very heavily in this financially, in terms of support, in terms of man hours, and in terms of just pure moral enthusiasm. So we could never have done it without them, and I'd like to thank Eddie, Ronald, and the whole crew in MEMAC.
Great.
And thank you to TNS for doing the research.
Yes, our research partner, TNS.
Yes.
And also thank you to Brand Union in Dubai, who helped us with
Absolutely, all our partners.
visual
At this
identity.
point, if this was the Oscars, we'd be dragged off the stage. So we'll call it a wrap. Thank you.
Right, thank you.